Um, I'm sorry. I didn't know my mic was muted. Hi, I'm RC, former employee and voice actress of DT's series. And I'm here to talk about him actually. Uh, just like the truth did. And, uh, everything I mentioned here was from my experience, so if I get something wrong, I'm sorry. And please don't go after anyone mentioned here. And if you're sensitive to some of the topics I'm going to talk about, just please, uh, if you must, if you must, don't linger here. Um, and just maybe, I don't know, just don't, uh, don't feel sensitive what I'm going to talk about. So, uh, about DT, so, well, on uh, June 17th uh, of 2024, which was last year, I, um, I was affiliated with DT, and so basically how it started was that I saw that he was looking for uh for voice actresses for his new uh for his new upcoming series, Reflectance, and the character was Rosie. And basically, I s- I just recently came out of another trauma, and I was like, okay, like, sorry, excuse me, maybe I should just give this a shot. And I gave it a shot. And I realized he has a Discord server, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm kind of interested in this. So curiously, I go and I join, and it's his, the Discord server for his series. And it's not really active, but he immediately saw that I joined, and I was like, I think he saw, yeah, he saw that I joined, and he immediately recognized, and he was like, wow, like, hey, Marcy, like, you ready to, like, fill up your role? And I'm like, what role? And he's like, yeah, you made the role you made the audition, or you nailed the role for Rosie, right? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sweet, things like that. And over the next couple of days, it was fine. And then soon, it's my birthday, and not kind of a really special day since birthdays are typically like any normal day, in my opinion. But um, he was having, I got a DM, and it was like please help me, like someone was telling me, like, please help me, like, calm DT down, like, we've tried everything. And I was like, what is going on? And so I go ahead and I joined his his other Discord, which was apparently his main Discord for murder drones. And I join, and it turns out he's like having a panic attack. He's like lashing out at everyone there, saying that he can't do it anymore, that he's going to kill himself. He says suicidal ideation. And I go ahead and I go to DMs with him, and we talk, and he basically says uh that he's going to, like, suicide, and that there's no hope for him. And I tell him, like, I'm just there comforting him, listening to him. And I usually, when people are serious about these stuff, I usually don't really try to stop them, because it's really their choice. And if this is really really what they want, and I know it sounds bad, but if it's really really what they want, then there's really nothing much to do about it besides just being there for them and hoping that they can change their mind, and just praying for them. But I I do I after that everything's good, and then I go to my normal day-to-day basis, but this that has always been on my mind, his mental health. And I go back and I see that he's uh he's better. And then slowly but surely, days he would talk to me, he would just tell me like, oh, like, you're so sweet, you're really caring. And I take that as a compliment. I'm like, thank you. And he just said that he's one of the most he just told me that that I was one of the most caring people that he has ever met. And I just found that really sweet. And in turn, as he tells me some stuff and I comfort him about it, I tell him about my own stuff. And pretty soon, before I know it, we got so close. So yeah, just so close to each other. Whoa, that goes off the page. Uh I can't really draw well. But off the topic, um we have sorry. I usually can't do two things at once, so I'm just gonna talk. And basically, what he's what he's decided was that I was he or yeah, sorry. He started flirting with me a bit after these stuff, and I usually didn't really take it lightly, but the server noticed and some people started shipping us and stuff like that. And then one day he admitted in the server, he clearly admitted, he said that he had feelings for me and things like that. And it was pretty difficult for me, and it is still pretty difficult for me to have any romantic attraction to human males. Um, but uh, I tell him like, hey, like, I'm sorry and things like that, and uh, politely. And I just said like, maybe we could stay friends. And he's like, yeah. He said, I respect that. And then, but the flirting still didn't stop, and I thought these were jokes. He would always say they're jokes. And um, at some days when he would go too far with these jokes, like he just said I was a hot Latina because of my race. He would just say like hermosa, like linda, and through like little voice messages. And then he would also like sometimes act possessive, and he would just say like I'm his and things like that. And then I didn't really know what I was doing back then, but I took these all as jokes. And then one day uh, I get a ping, and it was like and I go there and I see that there's like this whole wedding channel, this whole like play wedding. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, we're getting married. And I'm like, what? And this was like all a play wedding, so it wasn't really real. But he would just say like, I can't wait for the real one and things like that. I think he was joking. But we do that, and today I feel so ashamed of myself for letting myself being taken advantage of that, because later on he would use my favorite one of all my favorite characters who are stick figures, like this one here, this stick figure OC I'm creating right now. But he would basically use it and say like I'd say like you could like TSC, who is this orange stick figure I found very admirable. Uh, he would say like TSC's head is used for something else, and then he would put like a purple devil emoji and an eggplant emoji, and he would delete it right away. He would do that a lot actually. He would send stuff and then he would delete it right after, and it would stay in the logs of his servers, which I found useful. But even when I'm gone, he would just say like, I can't join VC without my mommy, which was he was referring to me, and he would just refer to me a lot as Muscle Mommy, Mommy Marcy, things like that. And uh and I didn't really take this to heart, but then he started saying a lot of stuff in his servers like I'm gonna give you a child and things like that, and I'm like, what? And and then it comes to one day I was given a challenge to talk to this AI bot, and basically what was being said was that this AI bot it was going okay. It was on this website, and I didn't know that this website was like for like porn, I think a lot of NSFW, unfiltered content, and I basically just go there, and the conversation's going okay. It's like going with a pretty good conversation. It also has to do with another one of the Alan Becker fandoms, and this was personally my favorite second character. But besides that, it was going okay until the AI boss said that he was gonna get me pregnant and stuff like that. And then I showed it to DT afterwards. I had reported the AI bot, but I had kept it a screenshot just in case. I needed it as evidence, and probably and definitely going to delete this after this video. But I had told him, and he did a voiceover in VC. And then soon after, he said that how he wished he was the AI bot, and I was like, oh, like, and my voice even sounded shaky in VC when I didn't really want it to sound shaky. And I guess it was because of because and probably natural instincts as a woman. And then when and then some other times I see that he would change the names of some of the people in the server who are mainly children, mainly minors under the age of 18 here in America, right? That's the legal adult age, 18. And he would change some people's names to, and that Shaker, he would even change his own name sometimes to John Throne, and he would have many alt accounts come in here saying inappropriate stuff, and wouldn't even know. And then when I'd lash out, he'd say like, "Whoa, like calm down. Why are you angry at me? This is my alt." And I'm like, "What? It's your alt?" And he's like, "Yeah, you didn't know." And I'm like, "No, I didn't know." And he changed a lot of people's names. Like he changed Agent Smith's, or I call him Agent Smith, but Agent N2's name to the Nutshaker. I remembered, and then there would just be all sorts of stuff going on with these minors, right? And some stuff behind my back that I didn't even know. And if I did know, I probably would have dissociated myself with him a long time ago. But basically, for some times, he halted production, which made a lot of fans angry. And then soon, a lot of people that I know, a lot of friends and moderators in his servers that I would get accustomed to, I would see them as little siblings, right? Because they just grew. I saw them. How could I not see them like that after how caring they've all been? And I go ahead and sorry, brain fart. And basically, I asked him like, why are they all gone? Like, what happened to them? And he'd say like, oh, they just did some stuff that was wrong. And I kept I kept associating myself with them because I'm like, these are some really good friends, and I know that they're really caring and they need all the love and support they can get, right? Because what child doesn't need love and support? But I keep on associating myself with these people, and some days he would say like, "Oh, hey, I see that you're associating yourself with these people, but look, I need you to like get away from them now." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like they did this and this and this to me. They threatened to dox me. They're associated with Defender, whom Defender was a doxer, and one time he even cosplayed himself, the little cosplay as Defender in the server. We were all kind of like getting like gaming on him as a joke, and then he commanded the marriage bot to kiss me, and then I now realize how wrong that was, because Defender is presumably a minor at the time, the age of 16, and all that happened, and then one day, and I noticed that things start going downhill. His mental health starts declining. Some days he say, "Okay, the project's canceled," and he say, "Okay, no, like we're back in production." And I would be like, "Okay, like this is a little weird." I started feeling a bit iffy, and then he would also, I know that he would sometimes be a bit racist as well, but anyways, beside the point. So one day my mental health started having a really horrible decline. Because of something one of my friends was going through, and I just tried everything I could to like help them, right? And he was there. He spent all this time helping me, and I was thankful for that. Like, not lying. I was really thankful for like all that he would help me with. And then when I almost suicided one time that night, and I was in the hospital, he would contact me, and I didn't want to keep worrying people, and I feel guilty for trying to suicide because I would have hurt all these people. But I contact him, and I'm like, okay. And eventually all things got resolved there. And things like that. I didn't really sorry. I got a notification. Okay. But uh anyways, I would go ahead and I would where was I? Okay. And sometimes I would say like, "Hey, isn't this wrong?" And he would say, "Yeah, it's wrong." But after all this productions, he would say one day, he said, I see that Kira, or yeah, the artists come up and everyone starts quitting. And I'm like, "What?" And I go and see it. And then I see all the things, or the horrible things after they quit. I see all the horrible things that he did to my friends, these real friends who when I fell on my own, they would still be there. They would still have hope in me, that I wasn't fully succumbed to him yet. And I saw, like, was he owning me? All this time, did he do this to own, to like, did he think I belonged to him? Like, I get the jokes. I get like the DT Junior jokes, like the fantasizing about us having a family together, about a future together, and I saw that he had a girlfriend too, and I was happy for that. But even though he still kind of portrayed these inappropriate behaviors with other people, and I saw how he broke her heart, and I saw all these things, and I was like, I associated myself with a terrible person. And I wonder if I deserved it, because of all the things, all what I wanted to do was to stay beside him. And I just couldn't, because I don't want to stay with horrible people like that. And and I decided I was done. So he asked me if I wanted to quit, and I said yes. I'm going to quit. Because, not because of everyone else quitting, but because you hurt my friends. And there's so much evidence of you harming them in the worst possible ways. These are children. They're not adults like you. They're not your friends who you could just mess around and hang around with. And even that, it's not good behavior to keep doing this, to keep lashing out at them, yelling at them, threatening them, and all sorts of stuff like that, making fun of their situations. And we kind of had an argument, but not really an argument. And I just said like, I just really, I stayed. After that, I said no. I stand by my decision. And then after that, he said that he changed for the better, and I'm like, okay, like good for you. Like I'll give you another chance. And then I saw that he didn't really change because he was still kind of giving the cold shoulder to a lot of to a lot of people. And after that, I was like, um, okay, uh, I, and he still stood by and tried to get me to come back to him, and he would still call me names like my sweet friend and all these sorts of stuff. And he would just say how there was nothing against him, and then one day I finally had enough, and I just had to speak up. Okay, I spoke up. I spoke up to the people I knew I could trust, and we just had enough. I blocked him on Discord, on Gmail. I blocked him. And then soon I found out he keeps harassing me with comments on YouTube saying like, you'll regret it if you do this, like, I am ashamed of you. You are using defamation and lies. And I'm like, no, like, but there's like all these things against you. And I just have enough. And he kept trying, he kept going at me with all these sorts of alt accounts and things like that. And after this aftermath, I had another mental decline. I became suicidal again. I started disassociating myself with everyone. And I just didn't want anything to do with anybody. I was lost. This was my life. And then somebody pulled me out of that mentality. This person, special person, took me out of the online world and introduced me to this wonderful world called Earth and reality. And I saw how it's not really so bad. Because looking at all the nature around me and appreciating it makes me realize how much I was enclosing myself in. How much I threw away to give my entire life to have me bind myself to this man. And I recovered from there. And now I have one more message for DT. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry because you weren't loved enough and you weren't given the attention you had as a child to be able to do all this. And you did all this. You could have done better. But you threw it all away to do this because the power of the internet was so great to you and you used it for something you really wanted. Attention, love. I can see that, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong too, but hate isn't just the way to go, and I don't hate you. I just hate myself more than anything by letting myself be bound to you. And that's all I want to say. Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye.